You know that moment when the weather finally turns warm and something inside you instantly lifts? While other people start complaining about the heat, you feel energized, lighter, almost more like yourself. Windows open, sunlight everywhere, longer days stretching into evening, and suddenly life feels easier to exist in. If that sounds familiar, you might be psychologically wired to love summer. And no, it's not just about vacations or beaches or good weather. Something deeper is happening in your brain. Because people who genuinely prefer summer over winter aren't simply enjoying sunshine. They're responding to an environment that matches how their nervous system naturally wants to operate. Let's start with something most people overlook. Summer increases sensory openness. Bright light, warmth, outdoor movement, background noise, social activity, all of it signals safety and opportunity to the brain. Evolutionarily, warmer seasons meant resources, exploration, and connection. So when sunlight increases, your brain reduces defensive alertness and shifts toward approach behavior. In simple terms, your mind becomes more willing to engage with the world. That's why small things feel easier in summer. Conversations start more naturally. Motivation rises without forcing it. Even routine tasks feel less heavy. Psychologists often link this to dopamine regulation influenced by sunlight exposure. Natural light helps stabilize mood and increases energy levels, but not everyone experiences that boost equally. For summer-oriented people, the effect feels almost immediate, like the environment finally aligns with their internal rhythm. Winter can feel restrictive to them, not emotionally negative, just limiting. Short days and colder environments subtly signal withdrawal, while summer signals expansion, and expansion feels right. There's also something called environmental activation. Certain personalities respond strongly to open spaces and movement. Longer days remove invisible boundaries from daily life. When the sun stays out late, your brain perceives more available time, even if your schedule hasn't changed at all. That illusion alone increases optimism and willingness to act. Summer lovers often notice they become more spontaneous, more social, even more confident without consciously trying. It isn't a personality change. It's context unlocking traits that were already there. Another reason summer feels natural for some people is stimulation balance. While winter reduces external input, summer provides constant mild stimulation. Sounds of people outside, movement, warmth, light variations throughout the day. For brains that thrive on moderate stimulation, this environment feels mentally nourishing rather than overwhelming. Energy flows outward instead of inward. Activities shift from reflection to experience. You don't just think about doing things. You actually want to do them. And here's where it gets interesting. Society subtly validates summer energy. Social expectations increase. Gatherings become normal. Outdoor activity feels encouraged rather than forced. For people whose natural energy leans outward, summer removes friction between who they are internally and what the world expects externally. You're not pushing yourself to match the season. The season finally matches you. But this preference isn't only about enjoyment. It reveals something deeper about how your brain processes emotion, motivation, and connection to the environment. Because the real psychology of summer lovers isn't just that they enjoy warmth, it's that certain conditions allow their mind to operate at full capacity. And once you understand why that happens, your relationship with seasons starts to make a lot more sense. What makes this even more interesting is that loving summer often says less about temperature and more about how your brain manages energy and emotion. Some people naturally regulate stress through outward engagement rather than inward retreat. When environments feel open, bright, and active, their nervous system settles instead of becoming overwhelmed. Summer provides constant signals of movement and possibility. Longer daylight hours extend your sense of time, making life feel less compressed and less urgent. Psychologists sometimes describe this as temporal expansion, where extended daylight subtly changes how the brain perceives productivity and freedom. You feel like there is room to exist, room to decide, room to breathe. Winter, by comparison, can feel like everything closes too early, as if the day ends before your energy does. For summer-oriented minds, darkness arrives before emotional momentum finishes building, creating a quiet sense of interruption. Another layer involves social synchronization. Humans unconsciously adjust behavior based on collective activity. In summer, more people are outside, routines shift later into the evening, and social interaction becomes spontaneous rather than scheduled. For individuals whose emotional regulation improves through connection and shared experience, this seasonal rhythm feels natural. You are not forcing yourself to be social. The environment gently invites it. That invitation reduces internal resistance and makes interaction feel effortless instead of draining. There is also a biological component tied to circadian rhythm sensitivity. Some people respond strongly to light exposure, meaning their mood, alertness, and motivation rise significantly when days are brighter and longer. It is not simply preference. Their brain literally functions more efficiently under those conditions. Focus improves, emotional resilience increases, and even creativity becomes easier to access. Summer does not change who they are. It reveals who they are when energy is fully available. And this explains something many summer lovers quietly notice but rarely explain. During colder months, they may feel slightly muted, less expressive, less motivated, without understanding why. Then summer arrives, and everything feels clearer again, like returning to a version of themselves that was temporarily paused. This is not weakness or dependence on weather. It is sensitivity to environment, the same way some people think better in silence, while others think better in motion. Neither is superior, just different nervous systems responding to different conditions. And maybe that's the deeper psychology here. People who love summer are often people who experience life through expansion rather than containment. They recharge through light, activity, and visible movement around them. Warmth signals opportunity. Brightness signals safety. Longer days signal possibility. While others find comfort in quiet and stillness, summer lovers find comfort in openness and momentum. And that difference doesn't mean one season is better than another. It simply means humans are wired in more ways than we usually notice. So if you've ever felt more alive when summer arrives, more motivated without knowing why, or more connected to the world when days grow longer, there may be nothing mysterious about it at all. Your brain may just be responding to the environment it understands best. Some people wait for cooler seasons to slow down and reflect. Others come alive when the world feels brighter and wider again. And if this felt familiar, you're probably not the only one who experiences it that way. You can subscribe if you want to keep exploring the psychology behind everyday experiences that feel personal but are often deeply human. Because sometimes understanding why something feels right helps you understand yourself a little more clearly.